Hi Aries, I'm Love from a Leo, and today I'm here for you to basically, show you what's to come during your November of 2018. We are officially in Scorpio season now that you're watching this. And so this means that we're going to be in a season or an energy where a lot of people, or everyone, a lot of people are going to be feeling very, very fixed on whatever they're feeling. Like, it's going to be a time, Scorpios, it's fixed emotion, it's fixed feeling. It's a way that it doesn't mean that you're always feeling the same way, but it means that you have a set feeling about whatever situation that you encounter. So for you as an Aries, since you are cardinal fire, this is going to be a little difficult for you if you are an Aries who does care what people think about you, or care about the new things that you come up with, or the new trends that you come up with, or anything new that you spark up, any idea that you have. And if you express it, if you're one of those Aries who doesn't like when people don't agree with it, you might have a really, really hard time during Scorpio season, which ends on November 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, or 22nd. But if you're an Aries who does not give a fuck what other people think about you, then this should be a breeze, or at least it should be kind of what you go through normally anyways. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we have here. Now, I had already started shuffling and 3 cards came out, so I already have the first 3, but I haven't started like channeling and seeing what I'm actually looking at. So we do have the Empress in reverse as your base energy for the beginning of November. So what this tells me, there could be circumstances where some of you as an Aries are not getting along with a maternal figure in your life. This could also be if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you were pregnant, it could have been a miscarriage, or a loss of the pregnancy, or just maybe not being pregnant in the first place. I know that sounds really thick, but there's been a lot of changes happening. So I'm just going to put everything out there that I'm feeling, because it's real life and a lot of people go through a lot of big things. You know what I'm saying? So this is also the energy of not appreciating things. And when we don't appreciate things, they tend to either get lost, broken. Someone else seems to find this and they find it as a treasure. So the meaning of your beginning of your November is to really start to learn how to appreciate things. And then we're going to see why it is, or what's a part of the issue that you're not appreciating. Okay? So 5 of Cups. Or you could also feel unappreciated. But let's go ahead and see. So 5 of Cups, we definitely have some type of feeling of maybe being bored, complacent, maybe feeling like woe is me. And this is dealing with feelings. So we're kicking off November, your Scorpio season, or everyone's Scorpio season, based off of feelings. So we have here 6 of Cups in reverse. This could have been an ex or someone returning that you don't necessarily like, or someone who you have memories with that you don't want to remember, or you have emotions attached to this situation, or this nostalgic person from your past, this karmic person from your past, that you don't necessarily want to feel right now. Like, I think you've either had bad situations with them before, or it just doesn't feel right anymore, and it just doesn't, you don't want to play games with them anymore. We also have the Queen of Cups here. So this is you really taking the emotional temperature of the situation, and I think that's why you're able to tell that you really aren't feeling whatever the situation is. We're going to go ahead and see what that is now. What is the situation that we're dealing with that we're not connecting with emotionally, don't want to connect with emotionally? This could also be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces woman in your life, or someone who has that type of energy. It could also just signify, the beginning of Scorpio season with emotions. So here we have the King of Cups here. So here, this could definitely be talking about a person's balance when it comes to emotion, or just literally a man and a woman who have a lot of emotional connection here. It seems that they're both on top of, they're both in control of their emotions. They both know what it is to have emotions and how to use them. The problem is there's an old situation between these two that isn't necessarily good karmically or emotionally. Okay, so when this happens, if we have 2 people who know the truth but they're still going through something, you can either get bored or complacent, meaning the relationship, or the situation can come to a point where, when you get bored, a lot of bad things can happen, and that can definitely be brewing up in Scorpio season, because Scorpio is definitely about creating your own reality based on what you feel. So again, whatever you are feeling, or whatever others around you are feeling, make sure you're not stepping on the wrong people's toes. It's definitely, remember what I say, Libra season is when you figure out what the case is, and Scorpio season is when you figure out what your sentence is. You know what I mean? So be very careful if you're dealing with a situation where both people are bored or both people are feeling very powerful, or feeling like they can control the situation. I feel like a lot of emotional manipulation kind of happening, and I don't want to make it sound scary, but I feel like there's a lot of people using their emotional power to influence certain situations, and these may be people who don't usually have this power, don't really realize that they have this power, but once they tap into it, they could do either really good things or really bad things. So whether this is you or another person, it really doesn't matter, because Scorpio season, a lot of people are going to be having that enhanced self-power to conjure up what they want to conjure, right? So this really is just about you being on top of your shit emotionally, knowing how you feel, knowing what to say, knowing how to balance that fire in you with this very, very watery energy, this fixed water energy that we are dealing with, okay? So moving on, we have the Six of Wands here. So this could definitely be you, Aries, feeling confident, you know, feeling like you got the recognition you deserve, or maybe you feel vindicated. Let's go ahead and see what this is about. Whoa. Okay, so this has something to do with either a Libra or during Libra season, with this karmic energy that happened, or justice is coming through. I definitely think it could have something to do with you feeling happy or feeling relief that someone finally cleared your name, or you finally were, whatever was wrongly done to you has been righted. I don't even know if that's how you say that. But definitely it's leading from this like emotional intensity, like a lot of emotion in a situation that starts right in the beginning of November, and then I feel like there's some justice where you are seen as the good guy, and it works out in your favor. So let's keep going. It doesn't mean that's the end of the story, but that's how I feel like that's how the battle ends. It's with you on top, okay, or you being victorious. But let's go ahead and see what happens. So we have the Five of Swords here. So remember, with this battle that I was just talking about, there's definitely a situation where someone is lost, or someone has lost, and the other person has won. Now, the only other problem with this would be that when someone feels like they lost, especially if it's someone who has a big ego, or when there's emotions attached to things, it's kind of hard not to have egotistical decisions that are made, because it's a lot of feelings and emotions, a lot of things that aren't very logical. So a lot of things can go out of the window. A lot of logic can go out the window. With this Five of Swords energy, communication, I feel like, is going to be very, very, pay attention to what's really being said. Like, almost like you need to read in between the lines. Ten of Pentacles here. So this is going to be maybe traditions, family, domestic life, okay? Pay attention to what's being said around you from people that love you, from people who you value, from people who you maybe provide for, okay? Yes, Aries, this is you right here. Okay, the Fool, Aries. You're not a fool, but you're fresh, you're new. You always have this like new breeze to you, no matter how old you get. You know what I mean? And so with this being on the bottom of the deck, the energy that you need to realize when communicating with people who are in your family or who are closest to you, who you actually value, these are the people who are going to actually be able to steer you in the right direction emotionally. Okay, especially during this time of Scorpio season. You may have some Pisces in your life who can also be of aid to you during this time as well, whether it's friends or family. But this is also, I feel like, a time where you can really just take a step back as an Aries. It's not time to work so hard. Maybe, if anything, you need to be working, or at least spending time more with family and friends, and maybe not so much on just yourself, or maybe things that you want, okay? But at the end of the day, I still want your motivation to be, what am I trying to say? I feel like you as an Aries, right now would be a good time for you to maybe try to reconnect with those people who actually do matter to you. So not the people that you want to impress, but more of the people that you worry about, so to speak, or more of the people that you actually do have feelings for, like your mother, your father, people who you actually care about. Because it can be really easy right now, especially in this season, to just say, oh yeah, I really care about them because they were there when we had this awesome party and we connected really cool, you know, and it's not even someone who you're really close to. So a lot of people will have these like weird like urges to reconnect with the wrong people, or reconnect with people who are not really for them. They're not really for them, but they feel, it's like, it's all about energy right now. So people are going to be feeling all of these energy signatures coming from all of these different auras and all of these different people, no matter where you go. And it could really, like, the frequencies could feel familiar from a past life, something that's familiar to your soul, but it's not the same person. And that's kind of why, you know, when you have Scorpio season, it's kind of like a dark, mysterious type of like figuring out the deepest parts of yourself. And being that everyone you see in Earth on this planet is a reflection of who you are. So, you know, Halloween, wear a mask, you know? So it's kind of like it all goes together. This is all going to be about you having to kind of decipher what you're really hearing and slicing through the truth. But also realizing that this is an emotional time, so that being too logical is not going to help you get any more answers. Does that make sense? Okay, so middle of November. Okay, we got the first two cards out. Hold on, let me scooch my cards up so I don't run out of space. So far, I feel like definitely in the beginning of November, there's a lot of insight and a lot of things that you will be feeling. I feel like something's going to be finally, like, I feel like progress is being made in situations, whether it's good or bad on your end. I feel like there's things that's happening, like we're moving, we're walking up the stairs to go to the next level. Does that make sense? So it's like we're still in motion for something, but we're almost at the next level of whatever it is that you as an Aries are trying to pursue or achieve. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else. So the base of your energy for the middle of November, we have the Tower card in reverse, okay? So this is a change that someone is trying to stop. Someone doesn't want this change to come. This could be you just ignoring, subconsciously ignoring the signs, or physically, emotionally, logically trying to manipulate a situation that you don't want to happen. But the universe is making it to where it needs to happen, it has to happen, and it will happen, and you won't know when to stop it. You know that you don't want it to happen, but as soon as you stop thinking about it, that's probably when it's going to strike, you know? And it's you can't even see it coming, so I wouldn't even try. With that being said, the best way to stay in line with, even though this is the tarot, I mean the tarot, oh my gosh, I cannot talk today, guys. I can't talk. The Tower card, even though this is one of those cards where it's like, whoa, the best way to just stay on board is in the middle of your November, go with the flow. Go with the flow, okay? This doesn't mean settle for what other people are telling you to do. This doesn't mean, you know, just do nothing. But don't try so hard to go against the grain. It's only going to make it worse. It's only going to make the situation harder to get through. Not that it won't be able to get through, but it will make it a lot harder on you. And I'm sure as an Aries, when you want something, it really doesn't matter how hard it is. But, you know, for the sake of time and for the sake of actually getting the things that you want and having good karma later on, you do want to just kind of make sure you're going with the flow and getting everything that you need to get, and also learning everything that you need to learn from the challenges that are coming your way, okay? So we have the Two of Pentacles here in reverse. So this is someone who is having maybe a hard time, or definitely someone having a hard time prioritizing. And this could be, you know, dealing with family members, or this could be, you know, dealing with job, career, social life, work life, things like that. It's a balanced thing that's really off. So let's go ahead and see what that's about. What is Aries having trouble prioritizing? Guys, your emotions, or at least how you feel about certain things. I feel like you're not confident about your emotional state right now because there's a lot of things that aren't being said. There's a lot of things that aren't being told truthfully, and I feel like you feel that, and it makes you just want to fight. It makes you just want to be aggressive because you can't understand why someone is trying to, you know, pull the wool over your eyes. And I feel like it's making you feel a little helpless, but at the same time, it's not that it's just making you helpless, it's making it to where it's harder for you to get things done. And this is secretly, I feel like whoever's being sneaky, I feel like this is what they actually want. This is what they want you to do, work harder. So this is why I say, use this Pisces energy and go with the flow. It'll help you a lot more, and you'll get what you want. It may not be exactly what you want, but you'll definitely achieve the things that you're trying to do. It'll probably come in a different package than you're expecting, okay? So then we move into the King of Wands in reverse here. And so what this is basically saying is there's someone who's being really immature, if this is a person, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But since this is in reverse, I feel like this is a situation where someone gets embarrassed, and I feel like it's you. Either you're the person who is embarrassing someone. No, it looks like you're going to be the person who's getting embarrassed. Now, how can we prevent this? How can we prevent from having an embarrassing moment or foot and mouth moment? I feel like it's a situation where you either say something that embarrasses you, or you say something that like lets out a secret, or you say something where people read between the lines and they get a little bit more of what the situation actually is. I just feel like it's like a foot and mouth situation. Again, with this Aries energy here, it's someone that's moving too fast, you know, someone that's kind of charging the bullet, but it's also someone that's doing something, and it could work, but I feel like it's going to work more for their sake. I feel like they're going to get more of a benefit from this, okay? And with this being said, if this is an actual representation of you and another person that you've been arguing with or having a lot of trouble with, this Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo on the side here, I feel like this is going to be just a battle that no one's going to know who's really going to win until you get to the end of the race, okay? So with this being said, if you're not going with the flow, again, this is going to be really hard for you. If you go with the flow, Ace of Pentacles here, okay? Which means you'll be on the right track. You'll have more prosperity being, you know, falling from the sky. You have to go with the flow because it's more challenging for you as an Aries to go with the flow. So being that, you know, this is a season or an energy that's a little foreign to how you naturally would do things or how you naturally showcase yourself, this is it's gonna set obstacles in your way because, you know, maybe the past few months or the past seasons for the zodiacs have been a little smooth for you because it kind of goes with how you are naturally. We are in a season where it kind of conflicts with how you would naturally react. And so this is going to be something that may be on your brain a little bit. You may start feeling this energy of, or maybe thoughts like you don't have control, or maybe you feel like you aren't doing enough. Maybe you feel like you're being weak as an Aries because you aren't standing up for yourself in the way that you normally would. But again, going with the flow is your best bet, Aries. This is how you're going to really be able to achieve your highest self in this moment, in this particular time in your life, okay? This is how you're going to be able to achieve yourself, your ego, in the way that needs to be set up. There's a lot of talk in the spiritual community where, you know, ego is bad, ego is bad. It is bad, but you can also use ego as a tool to ascend. And I'm going to make a deeper video on that because I feel like people need to hear that. But sometimes in your spiritual journey, you have to have a stable ego to be able to undergo other things and undergo other experiences spiritually, because you have to have that foundation, and our ego is kind of our first foundation in the thought process of consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? That's why whenever you are going through the consciousness breakthrough, you losing your ego feels crazy. It feels like you're being split in half, or at least for me, that's what it felt like, you know? Like, it felt foreign. I felt like I was losing my other twin as a Gemini rising. Like, I was losing what makes me be able to talk to myself. You understand what I'm saying? So you as an Aries, you may go through this feeling of psychological hell, but it's just your ego feeling uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean that you can't spiritually ascend from that. That's kind of the first step to really break through. And as an Aries, that may be your hardest challenge that you come through in life, is to get through that ego. But we'll see how that goes, okay? All right. I really like this reading. I feel like I'm getting a lot of clear messages. The end of November for Aries. Okay, first card out. Okay, so the energy for the end of your November, I love this, guys. This is the Ace of Wands. So this is movement, this is starting, this is powering up. This is you as a fire sign getting that fire back. I love this, okay? This is, I feel like, initiation. I feel like for those of the Aries who actually passed and learned how to go with the flow, you get this blessing in many ways, but the biggest way that you're going to get this blessing is that your life, or whatever motivates you as an Aries, or as a person for that matter, is going to change. But it's going to solidify. It's not going to change for the worse. It's going to make you see like a more broad horizon of what you can achieve, what you can really get for yourself. So like I said, I feel like that breakthrough that happens in the middle of November leading to the end will definitely shift your motivation, shift what you want out of life, shift your motivation towards more of like this Cancer energy of balancing out and having, like, it's like you're initiated into a higher level of understanding emotionally what it means to be emotionally intelligent. And I feel like that's what Scorpio season is pushing you as an Aries to understand. And so then once you come out of that, you kind of have like this balance, this like emotional but like not fully emotional way of being. And that might fade away throughout the end of November once we go into okay, after Scorpio, yeah, until Sagittarius, where you'll feel more warm, back into that fire. So that's definitely what you're going to be feeling, and you're going to love Sagittarius season. I already know it. Okay, so here is your change and motivation. Let's go ahead and see what this is going to be based on. So what is the changes going to be obtaining? Wait, what? What changes are going to be happening in the end of November? What motivational changes is this going to be a part of? Okay, so we got 2 cards. So we have 10 of Wands in reverse. So needing to do more, and success is on its way. The broader horizon with the 2 of Wands here, my confirmation card. So you're going to be able to understand that you can achieve so much more than you really realize, and it's all there waiting for you. You have done what you have needed to do in order to have the skills and the abilities that you need to be successful in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You finally got through the hardest stage thus far in your life, to where you have pushed through that, and now you are initiated into this higher level of understanding. So if you are someone who is still very low frequency, this may be just you understanding how to control your anger. If you are someone who's very spiritually awake, this is maybe you ascending and learning how to, I don't even know, communicate telepathically with someone else, and you finally get how to do it. You finally get how to travel into your past lives and go into your conscious memory bank. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to play out in different ways depending on how conscious you are, but it all plays out in different ways, okay? Nonetheless, there's a confirmation coming your way, and it's definitely something that is going to get you going. It's going to get that fire kicked back in you. As an Aries, you're going to feel the ambition come back to you. It's going to flood right back in, and you're going to feel ready to take on whatever it is that you need to take on. So let's go ahead and see what it is that you're going to be able to take on. I don't know why all these dogs are barking, guys. I think there's dogs outside, like the street, walking around or something. So I'm sorry. I want to cuss him out too, trust me. Alrighty. What are you ready for? You're ready to move on from whatever heartbreak or disappointment this was. And you're mentally ready to move on. It's not that you're physically or emotionally ready, but you're mentally ready to move on. And I feel like that's really important because it means that you finally completed a chapter in your life, okay? So then we end off November with the 8 of Wands in reverse. This is a little scary for me to see this. I feel like you're going to go into Sagittarius season and kind of be a little blindsided, because I feel like you're going to be just having so much fun, feeling all of that warm energy again. And it's going to get you to explore. It's going to get you to do all of these things. But you're going to be, you need to make sure that you're paying attention. What is it that what is this sign about? The sign is about giving and taking. You're either being selfish, being too blunt, taking advantage of those who you just reconnected with in the middle of your November or the beginning of your November. So be very careful with who you're linking back up with, who you're being friends with again. But for the most part, I feel like everything is going to be so like packed in November. And then you end off November with this boost of fire that comes through, and it's like, okay, we're back. It's Sagittarius again. It's Sagittarius fire sister energy, and it's like your soul resonates with it, and you go right back into that fire energy. That's okay, but just make sure that you aren't doing things that you just learned from previously, because it will make you go through the same. It might not be the same situation. It won't manifest the same, but you will go through the same exact emotional trials that you just had to go through. So my advice to you, go through all of this now in November, figure out what you needed to learn so that whenever the end of November comes and that switch comes up, you won't have to go through the same lesson. You can go through something else, okay? You can go through something better, something that's a little bit more elevated for you, something that fits your lifestyle better, something that you want to obtain and live through, okay? That is my advice to you. I'm Love from a Leo. If you guys need any personal readings, I offer quite a few different readings. I'm always adding to the list, so even if you have inquired about information before, always feel free to contact me just to see if there's any new readings that I'm giving out, any price changes, because when I do add, I tend to lower the prices just because I feel like that's fair. When I add to the list, I usually lower the prices of the other different types of readings, okay? So with that being said, I love you all. I feel like everything is going to be playing out really well for you guys. I feel like this is going to be a really, really eventful November for you. A very insightful November. And yeah, is there anything else I need to tell you? Stay on the lookout for any of the other signs that you need, you know, information on, or cross reading, or just other placements in your chart that you need a little bit more advice on. Let me know. If you have any problems, suggestions, concerns, please leave all of that down below in the comment section, or you can contact me using my Gmail. All of my information is down below for you. And yeah, I'm Love from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day I will be. And until next time, Aries, I will see you very soon. All right, bye.